Epcot Center celebrates human achievements and innovation born from imagination.
Look, Mom, I'm flying. Why don't you try it?
The torque and transmission load data are looking good.
Great. Let's proceed to the rough road tests.
You got it.
You fellas could use a good laugh. Let's go down to my laughing place.
WDW Radio, your information station. Hello, my friend, and welcome to the WDW Radio Show, your Walt Disney World information station. I am your host, Lou Mangello, and this is show number 734, and together, as we have been since 2005, we're going to celebrate the magic and the food of the Disney parks, movies, Marvel, Star Wars, and more here on the podcast, my weekly live video on Facebook every Wednesday night, events, blog, and more. Please be sure to join the community at wdwradio.com/clubhouse, subscribe to the podcast, and find everything else at wdwradio.com. And right now, Disney 100 is celebrating a legacy of 100 years of not only remarkable storytelling, but what I feel is a century of standing out being the best of the best in a wide and deep spectrum of areas. And that provided one little spark of inspiration of revisiting my Best of the Best series on the show. So to honor the Disney 100 celebration, we're going to start looking at the best of the best, not just in the Disney parks, but in movies, television, and much more. And I think it's only appropriate that we kick off this Disney 100 Best of the Best celebration in Walt Disney World, and more specifically, the best of the best food in Walt Disney World. We'll look at everything from what to eat, where, and why. And in future installations of this series, I'm going to turn to you not just for inspiration, but maybe ask you to join me on a future episode. Then stay tuned for our Disney Trivia Question of the Week, where you can enter for a chance to win a Disney Prize package, and more updates at the end of the show, including our magical vacation to Disneyland Paris giveaway, your voicemails, and more. And if you like what you hear, please share the show and tell a friend. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this week's episode of the WDW Radio Show.
Now, we invite you to relax, pull up a chair, as the dining room proudly presents your dinner.
You know the thing about good food? It brings folks together from all walks of life. It warms them right up and puts little smiles on their faces. And I agree with that quote from The Princess and the Frog by Tiana's father, James. But it's actually maybe hard to believe, I know, but I actually went from a kid who really didn't like to eat to someone, let's just say I'm on the opposite end of the spectrum. I love food, and I love what it does for people, because it does bring us together. It helps us share conversation and laughter and stories and learn about each other and create lasting memories. And I don't just mean around our own kitchen table or fancy restaurants, but in Walt Disney World as well. And surprise, surprise, it's not just about chicken tenders, which I love, by the way, or burgers and fries, which I also love, but Walt Disney World has some of the best food and dining experiences anywhere. So this week, we're going to look at the best of Disney World dining and delicacies, from what to eat, where, and why. This is going to be a fun, hunger-inducing, don't listen hungry, and hopefully culinary-inspiring show with information that you can take with you the next time you visit Walt Disney World. And I cannot, nor will I, do this alone. So I needed to bring in a bona fide expert. Some would say the expert on Disney food. And how do I know this? Because I've known her for years, and she is the creator of the Disney Food blog. You know her as AJ, and I know as one of my favorite people in the entire Disney space and world. AJ, welcome for the very first time. How has it been this long to the show?
It's because you don't respond to your text messages. Blue.
It's not that I don't respond. I respond to every one of them personally. I'm doing a lot of research for shows like this.
I'm sorry. I didn't know this was the excuse podcast.
Yes,
I guess this is the excuse podcast.
Top 10 excuses I use to not. But this is a long time coming, right? Because we've known each other a very, very long time, and we've been trying to connect. I'll fall on the sword. It is absolutely my fault. So we were talking about this before we started to record, but I guess the first time that we actually ate together was at Yak and Yeti upstairs by the window. Was it really 10 years ago in 2013?
Yes, it was. I remember it like crystal clear.
And that was
just I was pretty pregnant at the time, and it was hard to sit down.
And I looked very pregnant at the time. So we were we were quite the fetching pair. And that was what? So you started Disney Food Blog, what, in 2009?
2009, yes, was the first blog post, I believe.
Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. But I did have my Lou Mangello, however anybody wants to say it, book, like trivia books in my bathroom.
Which, listen, I understand my place in the circle of life. That's where
they should be. The place where you learn.
Listen, it's if I can bring you joy wherever you are, and a little bit of Disney magic when you need it most. So tell me, just very quickly, like, why? Yes. Why did you start Disney Food Blog?
Because nobody else had done it. I mean, I wanted it to exist. There was a blog that a couple did, like when they went to Disney World, which was like once a year, they would come back and they would write up their food and take pictures of it. And I would just sit there and refresh that blog over and over. Like, did they go again? Did they go again? You know? And so it's something that I wanted to be there. And you had the best food coverage of anybody, but you were also still covering other stuff, you know? And so it was just sort of like, well, I want someone to just show me pictures of everything that you can eat so that I'm not planning to spend a ton of money on stuff I'm going to hate, because I'm a pretty picky eater. So I just wanted it to exist. So I was like, let's do this, because my husband and I were long distance dating, and we wanted to do something kind of a hobby together, and that's something we could do together.
I love that you solved the problem that you found existed, right? You just sort of, like for me, I wrote the book that I wanted to read. You created the site that you wished existed. Because that's all, you're right. All we were doing was going on like message boards and reading people's trip reports and hoping that they had something food related in there too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Literally staying at work late so I could print out the like 28 page like trip reports to read them on the Staten Island ferry going home. Oh like, yeah, I mean, that's 1,000% what we were doing then, because that's all that existed.
Somebody's Googling what is a discussion forum right now, just because we're dating.
Right. What is a message board? Exactly.
What's a Usenet news group? I have no idea what any of those words mean. Yeah. But yeah, we've like
bulletin board.
And we like see each other all the time at events, and we've been trying to connect, and we keep saying, yeah, we're going to record something. But I really did think that this is going to be sort of the best way to, I've done sort of best of the best segments in the past, but I think sort of revisiting and bringing this type of segment back, because it's only appropriate that I talk about food. So the way I thought that we would do this, so it's not a 72-hour show, because it could be, right? There are literally hundreds of places to eat in Walt Disney World. We're just going to go down the list, and we're going to share our professional, very heavily researched and curated opinions on each one. And I think it'll be casual and fun. And remember, don't listen hungry. Some of these, I'm sure, are going to require further discussion, maybe a top 10 list for some of these individual items. So we're just going to go down the list, and I will give you sort of the topic. You give me your thoughts, and I will share mine, and then we'll go from there. Sound good?
All right.
All right. In no particular order, other than first things first. What is the best of the best, or AJ's favorite recommended, call it whatever, best quick service dining in Walt Disney World?
Okay. So do you want me to answer honestly for me, or do you want me to answer what the majority of people are going to enjoy the most?
Yes. You can actually feel free to give both. Like the rules are there ain't no rules. So you just have at it.
Oh, great. I love that. I love those games. Okay. If I'm getting asked on, national news, what's the best counter service or quick service in Disney World, I'm probably going to say Satuli Canteen.
Yes. That's why I love her.
something like that, because that's going to be a little unique, good variety. Got some healthy stuff there if you want some healthy stuff. You got the cheeseburger pods, so that's a good place it's probably going to please a good number of people. And it lets us kind of be like, look, Disney isn't just burgers, right? Which is what we always, we're always trying to dispel that myth as much as we can. But if I was just going to Disney World and sneaking in and nobody knew where I was going, then for counter service, I usually either end up at Gasparilla Island Grill, because their mac and cheese is the best mac and cheese on property. It's absolutely phenomenal. So I usually will get a side order of mac and cheese and a kid's chicken nuggets with the barbecue sauce. And I go sit in that little booth that's around the corner and nobody can see you're there. And I sit there and I listen to my audiobook about medieval British history, and I eat my mac and cheese all by myself. Or I'm going to Chicken Guy. Those are the two places that are my guilty pleasure spots.
So that's actually fascinating. There's a lot to unpack there. One, we're gonna circle back to this is the best mac and cheese in Walt Disney World.
Okay.
We're gonna come back to that.
I am happy to have that conversation.
But I love that you mentioned gas. One of the things I love, and Gasparilla, I think, is one of the overlooked dining experiences in Walt Disney World, because it's also 24 hours.
It's not anymore.
Stop it.
No, after COVID, we don't have any 24-hour places anymore. As far as I know, we can triple check. That. But Captain Cook's, Gasparilla, Peekaboo, none of them are 24-hour anymore.
Peekaboo was the only place I knew for a long time that was 24 hours over at the Swan.
Yeah. And Captain Cook's used to be 24 hours. You remember when they had the self-serve Dole Whip? You could go at 2:00 in the morning and get self-serve Dole Whip there, except when they were cleaning the machine, which they did for 1 hour, which was always the hour that I wanted to go get Dole Whip. But as far as I know, Gasparilla and Captain Cook's are not back to 24 hours, but let's check before this podcast goes live so that neither of us sound stupid.
So sad. Listen, I'm going to sound stupid no matter what, so it's fine.
Same.
Give me time to sound stupid. So I got very excited when you said Satuli Canteen, because I also agree that it is one of, if not the best quick service for all of the reasons you need. I love the idea of sort of choosing your own adventure, making your own bowl to have it be whatever you want it to be. And yeah, maybe I'm a big fatty, but I like getting an order of cheeseburger pods on the side, because I think that's just the way you're going to do it. And obviously you sit inside unless you're insane. Then you sit out. You don't sit outside at Satuli Canteen in the middle of summer. However, I will see you at Satuli Canteen, and I will potentially raise you Katsura Grill. So I love.
Will you?
Now wait, don't. I'm gonna. So wait. So wait. Before I answer that, I'm gonna redact my answer. Because before I answer, a couple of things. One, I'm deathly afraid of this list, right? Because one, I know I'm going to miss something obvious, like the fact
that's the problem. Right. We're going to miss something obvious. I'm so scared.
I'm probably going to leave out something intentionally or unintentionally that I haven't been to like in 10 years or more. I've been wanting to go back to Flying Fish. If only there was anybody that would go with me to Flying Fish, because I haven't been. And I also want to qualify
I was
because
just there 2 weeks ago.
I'm right here. I'm down the road. I can almost see Flying Fish from where I live. And This list is subject to change without notice. So just because we say it today, it does not mean it holds true for tomorrow.
Because that's the thing about Disney food, though, is it changes all the time.
Yeah.
You can go. I've been to Le Cellier twice in one day for lunch and dinner and had two completely different experiences. And I would recommend the first and not recommend the second. So it really does change.
Yeah, Katsura Grill used to be like my far and away favorite. They used to have, it's the first time I ever had okonomiyaki, which is like this scallion, like cabbage, like pancake with, oh my God, it was amazing. Yeah, it was incredible. But you're right, that menu too does change all the time. So,
but that's where you always used to have your meetups too.
I did,
is up there
because I love me some Japan.
Yeah.
I love sitting outside.
I'm so excited about the new restaurant. I cannot wait.
It's all those little prayers that I said kneeling down by my bed finally came true when I heard that.
I know. Yeah. I'm so jazzed. And that area needs an infusion of excitement like that, like, because that's a good view up there. Yeah. And Tokyo Dining was not giving its due. So I'm super excited.
Yeah. I love Japanese izakayas. I have a favorite one that's off property that I go to all the time. I should take you there next time we're going to eat again. It'll knock your socks off.
And let's go to Conveyor Belt Hot Pot too.
Yes. Oh. And there's Conveyor Belt Sushi too. There's a Conveyor Belt Sushi place too.
I'm not a big sushi fan, but I am a big hot pot fan. And I go to that Conveyor Belt Hot Pot and I'm just like the happiest camper. I'm
going to take you to a Korean hot pot.
Ooh, okay.
For those of you listening at home, just talk amongst yourselves. We're making plans.
Let's go.
All right, let's go from quick service to table service. It's the logical transition.
Best table service.
Oh. And I know there could be sort of subcategories of table service.
Good. All right. So let's go with if I'm flying into Disney World tonight and I'm all by myself, again, there's a theme here of me eating all alone, just in my closet by myself. If I'm going all by myself to a restaurant today, because it'll change tomorrow, but today I'm going to go to Le Cellier.
Wow.
I know. The old habits die hard.
Fascinating. But we do have that, right? We have our personal comfort food favorites, like the places we go that we just know we're going to have a great experience. We know we're going to enjoy the food, the services you like. So I get it.
That's right. And it's like so here, I always like to talk about how you were on your honeymoon and you were sitting in Italy and you were by the ocean and you had this amazing bottle of wine with your beloved. And it was just the most incredible wine you've ever had. And you buy a case of wine and you ship it home. And then your first anniversary, you've got an infant and it's screaming and there's poop everywhere. And you crack open this wine and it does not, and you just hate your beloved that day. And it does not taste as good. And so it's very much the experience, the whole package experience is what makes that food incredible, I think. And so to me, it's like I have so many good feelings from Le Cellier and it's always been a favorite. And so I love to kind of go and I feel like I'm in this little cocoon of like joy, Right. But if I had those same experiences at another restaurant, I'd feel the same about that,
Yeah, exactly. And if you ever listened to the show before, you know exactly what my answer is going to be. I'm going to throw out places like we talk about comfort foods. Like there's something comfortable and comforting about homecoming. I love Topolino, but it's Boathouse. It's Boathouse, and like to the nth degree Boathouse. For a long time, Todd English's Blue Zoo at the Dolphin was up there. I haven't been there in a long time, but the Cantonese lobster didn't come back. The miso glazed miro didn't come back. But I have literally never had a bad meal at Boathouse. The service is exceptional. The views are spectacular. The food is incredibly fresh. Like it ticks every box. I've never had a bad experience, and nobody that I've ever sent there has ever come back with a bad experience. And I love Steve Schussler. Like I do. I just love every single thing about it. I love sitting out by the water and the amphicars, and it has it all.
Yeah. Boathouse is a great experience. It's too big and too crowded for me. Like there's too much of I'm sitting in a cafeteria. I mean, I know it's not. That's a horrible thing to say. That is not at all what it's like. But, it just feels
Hold on a second. Steve,
big and echoey.
Steve, yeah, she just called your restaurant a cafeteria.
That's not at all what it's like. And I love Boathouse brunch and I love Boathouse mac and cheese. But then again, the opposite problem can happen at Le Cellier, where if you get seated, because I'm always I'm a solo going to eat there. And they always put me in banquet seating in between two giant families. And it's literally the most claustrophobic feeling in the world. And the last time I was there, I had to ask for a table change because I was like, I can't even move here. So, so the opposite can be super problematic in those teeny tiny restaurants, where you're just like, okay, no, I can't.
So
do this.
I'm going to take you to Boathouse, or next time you go solo, like wearing your hoodie, like asked to sit.
I think you get special treatment at Boathouse.
Listen, this is, and I shouldn't say this on the show. I should just tell you privately. But what you can do, if it's not, blazing hot and crazy humidity like it is 362 days out of the years here, ask to sit outside, but not just outside, like right outside the main. If you go all the way to the back, sort of the right-hand side, there's almost like a little porch area that's covered right on the water. You get a beautiful breeze, like a cross breeze coming.
Okay.
There's only like 4 or 5 tables out there. It's almost like semi-private, and it's beautiful, beautiful. Like you go a golden hour. Oh, it's so nice. Yeah.
Okay. That sounds really, really nice. That sounds very close to my honeymoon scenario.
Yeah.
Although I do like to sit in the boat.
I do like to sit in the boat, but you're right in the middle of it. Like you're right in the middle of the action.
You are.
And everybody's like, hey, are you almost done? Can you get up? Because my family wants to
Can you
sit
leave? That's how it is if you go to Jock Lindsay's Hangar Bar, like the weird line of people standing outside the diving bell table, just like watching you eat and waiting for you to be done.
Right. If you could almost close the diving bell door, it would be a little more
that would be better.
Inside. All right. The best buffet.
Oh, 0.
You're not a buffet.
Buffets.
You're not a buffet.
No, I do. I will answer this question, but I will avoid a buffet if I can. Let's see. Because I will go to a table. I will go to a family style before I will go to a buffet usually.
I like going to a buffet. I like going to a buffet so I could stick it to the man, because I'm going to come in hungry and hot. Like I'm ready to go. And I don't waste my time with the salad and nonsense. No. Like you got to go for like the good stuff. You go for like the meats and the cheeses and yeah.
Okay. So if we're going to, all right, you gave me time to think and I appreciate it. I am going to say Boma.
That's it. That's the answer. That's exactly
okay. Because if you have to eat from utensils that some child has licked, food is good enough to justify it.
Maybe the buffets by your house are slightly different.
No, this I have seen in the Walt Disney World many times. So much sneezing happening by the buffet. Like we wait to sneeze until we're right next to the mashed potatoes.
I blame the parents, but no, I think that if you are a buffet person, I think that Boma is off the beaten path, right? Animal Kingdom, you have to sort of work to get there. But whether you go for breakfast or dinner, there's such unique items on the menu that you're not really going to find anywhere else. I will say as a good substitute or a very, very close second for same reasons, Tusker House, same thing too. Tusker House as well. And if you do, is it only for breakfast they have characters, or is it for
Nope,
lunch
it's all the
too?
time.
Okay.
And yeah, it's all the time. And I was going to say, if you don't want to go all the way out to Animal Kingdom Lodge, yeah,
you go to Animal Kingdom instead.
It's a good second. But then it's like those two are up here when it comes to buffets, and then y'all can't see me, but I have a visual. They're up here, and then the rest are just like down here. Like then you're down to like Crystal Palace, Chef Mickey's, like Garbage Restaurant 3, Garbage Restaurant 4, buffets.
Yeah, a lot of people like Cape May Cafe. I haven't. Again, I just haven't been in years. It's been
Until they
long
got
before.
rid of the free crab legs.
Right. Again,
What?
because people were taking the Lou Munch. I'm going to stick it to the man and eat nothing but crab legs.
Nothing but crab.
It was
legs.
like a scrum when they brought fresh crab legs out sometimes.
I believe it.
Yeah.
I believe that I wouldn't put it past some folks to bring a little cooler.
Yeah. You know what else?
Home.
When Trails End was, it was also
Such
a great
a good
value.
bargain.
Yeah, it was a great. I think it was the best value on property at that when it was a buffet.
I'm trying to think if there's any other buffets that I would like willingly go to. Maybe the Ale and Compass breakfast buffet. It's not too bad.
Yeah. All right. Best. So I'm the best. I'm using air quotes. Food cart, and what I mean by it's a cart, it's a kiosk, it's a snack stand, it's some sort of walk up, like quick service with no seating, food place.
Okay. All right. By the way, we should have talked about Sanaa with table service because we can talk about that with Best View. Okay. Food cart. But it can be like a brick and mortar, like not movable. It could be like
it can be not movable. Right. It could be. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Yep.
Sleepy Hollow.
You know, I almost put Sleepy Hollow on.
How do you feel about that?
It depends on when you go.
I'm not sure if I'm right or not.
Because it used to have. Well, I have. Well, yes, but even though there's seating there, it is.
Okay, I get it.
No, because it's a walk around thing. I like both the sandwiches. Like if I could somehow just get like a half portion of the spicy chicken and a half portion of we can't call it Nutella. But it's basically Nutella and fruit sandwich.
Why can't we do that? That's what we're going to do. We're going to go with our best friend, you and me, and we're going to order both.
Oh,
and we're going to split.
That's a good day right there.
But then you have to leave because I have to eat by myself.
That's fine. We'll get separate tables.
Right.
Listen, it's not going to be the first time a woman said to me, "You have to leave. You can't sit.
Leave now.
I'm sorry, you can't sit here." It's like high school and grammar school, law school, dating. It's just bringing up a lot of bad memories. All right,
It's hard. Well, that's another podcast.
I had a tough time with this one.
Yeah, this is hard.
There's a lot of places you just go and grab a snack, and I sort of did a mental flyover of the parks, and then I got to Disney Springs. And I'm a guy who loves a good poutine, or as they say in Canada, poutine.
Oh, nice.
So I'm going to say the daily poutine, right?
Yeah.
Hot, thick cut French fries with gravy and cheese curds. But they have seasonal varieties and stuff too. So depending on when you go, you might get something completely different. So there's Italian poutine and Canadian poutine. They have butter chicken poutine. You want a little Indian action going on. Korean
haven't seen that
barbecue.
one in a while.
Listen, if you're looking for carbohydrates, just look for Lou. Oh, fried carbohydrates. There's Lou. There he is, right there.
There's Lou and cheese, cheese too.
And gravy. But the Korean barbecue is really good. It's got kimchi and barbecue pulled pork, a little bit of spicy aioli. It's nice.
Good for them. Good for them. I mean, I was so jazzed to see the poutine place come in, and I think, I know Canadians will disown it because it's not real, but I dig it. If it's all I can get, I'll take it. Yeah. I like it,
especially on some of those random, rare, cool days, those cool nights. And then there's actually some tables there where you go sit by the water somewhere with your little thing of poutine. That's a nice day right there.
That's nice. Yeah. And now this question is hard though, because I'm thinking of 20 other ones that we should give,
and somebody is screaming at their iPod or their Tesla or their dog if they're out walking a dog. How are you people not saying this place? Yeah. It is the blessing.
We're thinking about it.
Right.
Believe me, it's going through our heads right now. We're going 8 Spoon Cafe. We're going like, cheeseburger, spring rolls. Like we're
Right.
it's all going through our heads.
And I'm like, oh, I like a good French fry. I know. I was sort of and I'm going to put these questions, just so you know, I'm going to put these individual questions. I'm going to space them out over time in the clubhouse at wdwradio.com/clubhouse, because I want to hear from you. And if you just can't wait and you have to call the voicemail, 407-900-9391. Feel free to yell and scream. Try to keep the cursing to a minimum, because this is a G-rated, family-friendly show. But say, my God, Mongello and AJ, how did you not say X? And then we'll feel ridiculous that we didn't.
We will feel appropriately chagrined.
Okay, so I said for table service restaurants, there are certain categories. What about if you want to have a nice little fancy night, right? The best fancy restaurant, I'm using the word fancy, elegant restaurant in all of Walt Disney World.
Okay.
You want to have a little romantic evening all by yourself. Where does AJ go?
I wish. So we're supposed to say Victoria and Albert's here, which I think is the least romantic restaurant in terms of signature restaurants. I think it's very unromantic because there's two people at your table all the time.
This is fancy, not romantic. I actually think I have a romantic question. Later.
Romance is later. Okay. Victoria and Albert's is the fanciest restaurant you can do. Yeah. Okay. V&A.
So this is just fancy pants.
Okay, fancy pants. V&A. You have to wear a suit jacket.
Okay. Yeah. I had V&A because you have to. I think
you have to.
Jico, even California Grill, can be sort of upscale.
Yeah.
I'm going to put Takumi Tay, the House of the Artisan. Takumi Tay.
Oh, fancy.
Yeah.
If it's not Japanese, then it's Blue's favorite.
It is not going to be the last time you hear me say the words Takumi Tay. I can spoil that ahead. All right. Let's do the opposite. If you don't want to put on your fancy pants and you just want to go with your family, with the kids, where's the best restaurant for kids and families?
This is the one. If anybody watches my YouTube channel, they get tired of me talking about Garden Grill. But I adore Garden Grill for multiple reasons. I don't know why anybody wouldn't want to eat at a spinning restaurant. I don't know why you wouldn't want to eat in a place that gets you even more embedded in living with the land. You get a bunch of characters who are going to come around to your table multiple times, not just once, because it's a tiny restaurant and you will get tired of the characters. They will come around so much, and you get to see Mickey in his little farmer outfit, and the food is really good and it's reliably good all the time. So
I have not been there in probably 15 years.
Okay. Well, we'll take you there. You will enjoy it.
You'll be eating separately. I understand that.
You will get tired of the characters.
So, when I thought of this, Ohana comes up, Chef Mickey's comes up. Crystal Palace was one that came up. I try and think when I thought of kids and families.
Buffets. You keep bringing all these buffets.
I know. Is it a place that I'm taking young kids, or is it a place that I'm taking older kids? Are we at the T-Rex Cafe age, or are we at the we want character kind of age? And I think maybe it was an unfair question because I sort of. There's other.
It's okay. I still answer Garden Grill for all of those.
Okay.
I do. I just think it's a no-brainer.
I will say Ohana just because I'm craving the noodles at this very moment. I would do lots of stuff for noodles and wings right now. So.
You can go get them right now. You can literally get in your car and go to Tambu Lounge and get them.
I know. If somehow someone invented a Uber Eats
call Tom.
Disney service,
you need to call Tom.
I need a Disney Tom. That's what I need. Just call Tom. Oh my God, could you imagine? I'd be broke and twice my size. Okay. Sound the alarms and the bells. The Disney dining plans are coming back to Walt Disney World. What is the best use of a snack credit?
Oh gosh, this is research we're doing right now. Because we had it down for 2019. to me, I always like to remind people to use snack credits at the festivals, at the Epcot festivals, because a lot of that stuff is going to be snack credit eligible. And there's stuff on those menus that are $8 or $9 that are, you just have to look around and find the more expensive stuff to get the really good value.
Yeah, like anything over, you want to make sure it's over like $6, $7 to
over
make sure
$6.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is it one of the waffle sandwiches can you use it? Is that a snack credit? No. I have to go to Disney Food Blog and look for the little DDP snack eligible thing when I go through the menus. You know what? Since I'm craving, I'm going to go with a Mickey pretzel and cheese sauce just because I have not had carbohydrates in 15 minutes. Listen, you've had a long day. Maybe you just need a little to go and relax. You want to get together with some friends. What is the best place in Walt Disney World to grab a drink?
Okay. I have three very different places that really depend on how you feel, right? So if it's AJ going to grab a drink in the evening, I'm probably going to go to Gasparilla. No, not Gasparilla, my bad. Geyser Point. I'm going to go to Geyser Point over Wilderness Lodge. I'll get there a little early so I can definitely get a nice table over by the water, watch the sunset. So that's definitely happening. But if I've got folks with me who are maybe a little livelier than I, then we'll probably go to Trader Sam's and have a few cocktails there. So those two are probably good, but there's lots of spots at Disney Springs too that are super great options for this.
I love Sam's, but I think once you sort of go through the experience, I actually sometimes like sitting outside more than I like sitting inside, especially when they have like some of the musicians out there playing live music. Tiki torches are on, the sun is going down. It's it's only 107 degrees. That's a nice night.
No problem.
I think for the ones that are on my list, it's not just like I think I'm incorporating the view because I have Jocks, but sitting outside. I had Geyser Point on there, Dahlia Lounge. Again,
I love
right?
Dahlia. That is such a good one to bring up. Nobody goes there, Lou.
Exactly.
Nobody
gotta work
goes
to get there. Even like sitting outside at Baseline Tap House, like if you want to be in park and just like grab a drink in park. And Enchanted Rose is nice too.
There's never any tables available there. Everybody loves Baseline. I am a staunch anti-Baseline person because there's never any tables.
Yeah.
And I hate that. And I hate being stressed because I'm like an OCD nerve. Like I want, if I'm going to spend this much money, I want it to be perfect. And I can't trust Baseline. Can't trust it.
I need a table in the corner with some shade and maybe a little air conditioning if possible. If you could make that happen, that's a good night.
But it's not going to happen for 99% of you out there. It's not going to happen at Baseline. Don't trust it.
Just for that one guy that gets that one table.
One guy gets that table and then you just get to sit there and hate him and stand right next to him till he gets up and leaves.
Disney is first and foremost a storytelling company. Give me the best themed dining experience in all of Walt Disney World. AJ is dancing, by the way. I wish I could do this as a live video because she's dancing on the ceiling.
These things are just coming out of my brain right now. Like I'm not, but so this is the first thing that popped into my head is, and this is probably not true because it's probably Be Our Guest. But the first thing that popped into my head was Storybook Dining at Artist Point.
Well, I haven't been yet.
Let's go.
I have not been yet.
It's pretty good food.
Yeah.
Pretty good food.
So
but
what are you incorporating into your answer? Right. So when I say best themed dining experience, what are you what are the elements that you're incorporating into your answer?
On that one, I recommend that place because I think it is good theming. They've made like little they like made it look like a little forest in there. It's a great view. it's good food. It's good, reliable food. And you get to see characters you don't normally get to see. So that's why I'm going there. But like I said, it's the best theming is still probably Be Our Guest, even though the food is garbage, or Cinderella's Royal Table, even though they rush you out of there and you're only allowed to spend like 19 minutes in there. So for the whole package, I'm going to say Storybook Dining because I've never kind of had a bad experience there.
So that wasn't on my list only because I hadn't been. Be Our Guest. I liked to Be Our Guest when you could go for lunch and order off the menu and sort of pick your thing, and they took the rows, and I really, really liked that.
So did everybody, because that was the best.
That was the play. Things
Such
that
a
came
good
to
value.
Things that came to mind is I like Skipper Canteen, and if you get the right server that really sort of helps to sort of complete the story and helps you sort of dive deep into some of the cool little Easter eggs, it's great. Same thing with like 50s Primetime. Like your server, much like your Jungle Cruise skipper, can sort of make or break your experience. I've had really, really, knock on wood, I've had really, really good luck there. I haven't been to Sci-Fi, but Sci-Fi is cool. I used to like Sci-Fi when they did you ever go like to the Star Wars Weekends breakfast? And they had like Star Wars movies and like you could trade with the Jawas.
I didn't. My team went because we covered it for the blog, but I personally never got to go to that. But it seemed really cool, and they had really good food there too.
I'm going. I'm going to scratch, and I have a very, very, very late addition to the list because I went there for the very first time last night, and I don't know if I was just hungry, but I loved. And we had an amazing server. I tipped him a ridiculous amount because he earned it. You're waiting with not so bated breath.
I'm so baited.
And I'm going to watch your reaction to see because I loved Woody's Roundup Rodeo Barbecue. She's frozen. She's pretending like I loved the theming in there. Our server was great. Like I thought the food was really good, and I ate lots of it. And it was not like, I think it was a good value for what we spent too. Like I took my kids and they loved it too. You are not dancing in your seat.
Not dancing. I'm not sold on this restaurant yet because it's expensive. It's $45. And
AJ, I'm going to tell you, they lost money on me last night.
Remember, though, I live in Texas.
Also true.
Where we have barbecue. So it could very well be like that barbecue is about level to my fourth choice down, go pick it up barbecue around the corner. You know what I mean? So that's probably part of it. But what's weird, Lou, is that I love Regal Eagle.
So I haven't been there yet either. I can't find anybody who'll go with me.
Oh, I will go with you to all these places if you just answer your text messages. But I love Regal Eagle and I love the options there. And they have lots of different sauces that aren't just like sweet, regular, and hot. Like it's different sauces from around the country, like different types of barbecue sauces. It's just a better experience in terms of food. Whereas to me, Roundup Rodeo has fallen into the go here for the theming and go here for, you know, if your kid really likes Toy Story. But I need to do it again. I need to try it again. You know, it's brand new. And it could be that I didn't have the honeymoon experience when I was there because I was just trying to eat everything and I was having a
with the
weird
spicy
conversation.
Jam. Ay.
I mean, that is the winner for sure.
And the plant-based stuff. Like we said, let's just try the plant-based.
Yeah.
I don't even know what it was. I wouldn't have known that was not meat. It was amazing. Like I was very impressed.
That's great.
It was very, very
Well, I love the mac and cheese there too. Like I really enjoyed the mac and cheese. Like it was a contender.
All right, so we keep bringing this up. We're dancing around. Let's just get to the best mac and cheese. What is the best mac and cheese in Walt Disney World?
I already told you it's Gasparilla Island Grill.
So I thought about this because I had the other night for the very first time what may be, and I know it's like I'm in I'm having the honeymoon phase, to use an AJism, because I love the shrimp and andouille mac and cheese at Boathouse, which you can
Sure,
also
of course.
upgrade to lobster, but I dig the spiciness of the andouille sausage.
Yeah.
There's also the crispy, spicy mac and cheese balls at Wine Bar George.
They are there.
However, I went for the first time in ages to Jico, and I had the Bobotie mac and cheese with 4 kinds of cheese, Wagyu beef, almonds, and curry. It was amazeballs.
Mind blowing.
I just wanted to sit there I did. I sat there all night and I ate mac and cheese for hours, but it was so, so good.
There is a lot of great mac and cheese in Disney World. At the they can be at the signature restaurants, they can be at the affordable table service restaurants, they can be at the kiosks. Like, there's a lot of hidden great mac and cheese that, like, you don't never eat bad mac and cheese in Disney World. You don't have to. There's something for there's a mac and cheese for everyone. There's homecoming mac and cheese.
Oh, homecoming.
There's
good too.
the 8 Spoon Cafe mac and cheese with the pulled pork on top. Then you go over to the Flame Tree Barbecue, get the mac and cheese with the pulled pork and onion rings on top. And Gasparilla is a completely different situation. It's a very creamy mac and cheese. It's just so many.
See, this could be a top 10 segment of the best mac and cheese. Because
even Beer Garden's got that brick of mac and cheese, you know? Ugh.
All right. So, okay, somebody comes to you. This will be like a mini lightning round. Somebody comes to you and says, listen, I need to know what is the best in-park dining in each park. So give me like best Magic Kingdom, best Epcot, Hollywood Studios, Animal Kingdom. Just give me the best of the best dining experience. Table service, counter service, it doesn't matter. Go. Off the top of your head.
Okay. Magic Kingdom. I want you to go to Columbia Harbor House for counter service and probably Skipper Canteen or Liberty Tree Tavern, depending on how picky your eaters are. Animal Kingdom, I want you to go to Tusker House or Yak and Yeti or one of those kiosks that I just mentioned. You know, go to Flame Tree for the mac and cheese or go to 8 Spoon Cafe. Or Restaurantosaurus if you want to sit in the coolest table in Disney World in the Airstream. Epcot, I want you to go to Regal Eagle and Le Cellier. But there's a bajillion and Garden Grill. I mean, hello. And what am I missing? Hollywood Studios. Lou wants you to go to Roundup Rodeo Barbecue. I want you to go to, oddly, I want you to go to Backlot Express because I love the theming, but I also love the chicken tenders. But I do like that you can go to either Sci-Fi or 50s. Neither of them has really good food, but they're themed and they're fun. But Hollywood Brown Derby Lounge is probably where you're going to end up, I hope, in the evening.
Yeah. So mine is Magic Kingdom.
Was that good?
That's perfect. Skipper Canteen with maybe a snack over at Sleepy Hollow. Epcot is Takumite and Takumite. Hollywood Studios, I'm not going to say Woody's Roundup because I just went there last night. I need to go 6 more times. I'm going to say the Brown Derby Lounge outside. Mm-hmm. And for Animal Kingdom, Satuli Canteen or Nomad Lounge. Good Gandhi, I love Nomad Lounge.
How could I forget? Yes, let's just skip everything else that I said. Forget it. Just go to Nomad Lounge. We just did
a live review there. I think we were there for almost 4 hours. It was like so good.
Had you been there before?
Yes. And when they changed the menu, I'm like, oh, I have an excuse to go back again.
Yeah. It doesn't even matter when they change it because it's just going to still be really good.
So good. It was worth driving to Animal Kingdom for in summer.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just like the Zenist place.
You sit outside and it's like, oh, it's super chill.
But I sit inside because I can't handle the not having the AC. Like if it's October or November, I'll sit outside. But like now I'm going to sit inside and I'm going to be just as happy.
But those big, like comfy chairs you sort of like sink into and you have to like hoist me out of there with a crane because, all right, we did the theme parks. Give me the overall best resort restaurant. Like the restaurant that's worth making a special trip to a resort you're not staying at for?
I'm probably gonna go with Sanaa and Jico here because I do love Jico. I think Jico is an incredible restaurant, very underrated. Sanaa is always good food and that view is impeccable. You just have to make sure you're not there at night when you can't see the animals. But those two, even over like California Grill or Topolino's, like I'd still choose those, I love them.
So I think, and my last name ends in a vowel, and I'm going to apologize to my mother wherever you may be. The chicken sugo rigatoni at Topolino's Terrace is like the best pasta I've ever put in my face. I love it so much. And then you get and everybody's like, no, Lou, you go to Topolino's for the filet. I'm like, no, you get a filet as a side dish because that's how I do it. So, I really like Topolino's a lot. I would have said, and maybe I need to sort of give it another shot and say, I would have said Blue Zoo years ago because nobody goes to the Swan and Dolphin unless you have to go to the Swan and Dolphin or you're there for a conference. But Blue Zoo was one worth making the trek for. Let's just quickly throw in, is there a resort food court that you think is the best of the best? You're going to say Gasparilla again. You're going to say Gasparilla.
Well, that's not a food court, but I mean, for sure. I have a weird love for Sasagula.
It was tops on my list.
Because I like their jambalaya a lot. They used to have those pralines, those Mickey-shaped pralines. They don't have them anymore. They didn't come back after COVID, but they were so good. And of course, beignets, so that's a good bet. I like it over there. How do you feel about Toledo?
I have not had a full meal at Toledo yet. I was only there when it very first opened. I enjoyed what I had, but I have not actually had just a sit down, like beginning to end meal. So I don't judge.
Hear people talk about it a lot.
I think it's off the radar. Wait. Oh my gosh. You know what else I didn't mention too? How did I not talk about Three Bridges?
Yeah, I was just thinking the same thing. I'm like, why didn't I talk about that for a place to go get a drink? Because that's a great place to get a drink.
Great place to get a drink, like great view. Like the food was really good when we went one night.
Food is great. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And nobody's there. Nobody goes there. I mean, to me, Coronado Springs with the tower has become a go-to. Like I think the tower rooms are gorgeous. I think you've got 2 fitness centers now. You've got Dahlia, you've got Toledo, you've got Barcelona, you've got Three Bridges. It's just such a winner now, and it's so cheap to stay there comparatively.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's beautiful, and I really like Three Bridges. I like it so much. I'm actually willing to walk down the bridge all the way. It's a long walk for me. So I'm actually willing to, for me, that's like a hike. I need like special boots to make that walk, but it's, some things are worth waiting for.
Yeah.
We sort of mentioned it in passing and we're sort of touching on it here. What has the best, what lounge has the best menu overall experience in resort, in park, whatever it could be?
Probably Nomad. Like now we're just going to say Nomad for everything. So just like fill it in the blank for every question.
So best, what about outside of a park? What about best lounge outside of a park? I have a new potential favorite.
Oh. Cause I do like Geyser Point. I do like Three Bridges. Trader Sam's, Tiki Terrace, all those, but tell me your new favorite.
So you don't get the views, but if you go, and now it's only on weekends, I have this affinity for New Orleans and jazz. We did a meetup at Scat Cats on the weekend.
Yeah.
Like the jazz band comes in there. They have a great menu. It's air conditioned. There's nobody in there unless you wait until 8:00 on a Saturday night. It was a super chill vibe. The food was great. They had like po' boys and beignets. Like they had a really like good and relatively extensive lounge menu. And you can get also beignets next door. And there's also Sasagula right there. Like we had a really, really nice time at Scat Cats.
Okay. That's great. That's awesome. I mean, I think it's a great option if you can get over there. People like River Roost too. Like that can be a fun night. So yeah, but
they had these potato puffs with it was like pulled pork, and I think it had beer cheese sauce on it. It was really, really good. I mean, it's shareable, but I don't share. So
right. They have those pimento cheese fritters sometimes too. They're
the Mardi Gras fritters with the pepper jelly.
Mardi Gras fritters that are what I think how we describe them is they are what mozzarella sticks wished they could be when they grew up. They're really good.
I like that. Did we talk about the best brunch at Walt Disney World? I'm a brunch guy. I dig me a nice brunch. And there's a lot of places that have brunch that I think people don't even have on their radar. What is the all-time best of the best brunches in Walt Disney World?
Do they have to be classified as brunch, or can it just be like a late breakfast that you have?
You can define brunch however you see fit.
Okay. All right. Well, the only one that's coming to mind, because I do like to go to Ohana for brunch sometimes, because then you're right there by Magic Kingdom. But you know what? We also haven't talked about Steakhouse 71. That's a good one too.
It's been like on my list, but it gets like pushed down a little bit. But it might make the list
That's what it always gets that.
But I love going there. Like I love going there.
I know.
I did a review.
It's delicious.
Even if you like sit at the bar or I miss the old blue rooms, but like I will promise you Steakhouse at 71 is going to come up very, very soon.
Okay. Boathouse has a great brunch.
Yeah.
So I'd probably go with that.
Didn't Steakhouse 71 have a brunch last year for like a short window of time?
They do serve breakfast.
But like an actual like brunch, they had like a brunch menu with like avocado toast but it was like a limited time thing. Homecoming,
because I know the Wave used to have brunch and they had the buffet open for it.
Homecoming has a really nice brunch.
Homecoming's a nice brunch.
That's like a stretchy pants brunch. Like you're gonna walk out at least 7 pounds heavier in the best possible way when you come out.
I mean, they're all coming back. Raglan Road has a good brunch.
Wine Bar George has a nice brunch.
Wine Bar George has a nice brunch. So if you're going to do brunch, go to Disney Springs.
Right. Just do the brunch flight. Just sort of hit all of them.
That's what we need to do. We need to just do all the brunches one day.
What about straight breakfast? What about like straight best? Because breakfast is one of those things like, hey kids, get up at 6 o'clock. We got to get out. We got to hit the parks commando style. Or some people they like to do their leisurely breakfast, or it's like that sort of rite of passage. Where is the overall single best breakfast in Walt Disney World?
This is really, really hard because there's so many qualifiers. Like you could say for a quick breakfast, the best place to go is probably Les Halles. Just get in there, get your mimosa, get started early, right? Or you could also, I think, I had a couple other ones that I really, really like. I mean, Steakhouse 71 has a good breakfast. Ale and Compass has a good breakfast. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, there was one that was prime in my head, but I can't remember what it was now. So let's see if you know it.
So I know a lot of people, you ask them in a heartbeat, it's Topolino, because it's the characters, it's the views, it's the menu. It's a prefix. I think it's $45 per person. So you're gonna pay for the experience, but it's a very, very nice breakfast. Kona Cafe sometimes is nice for breakfast. I think we mentioned earlier, if you want do a little unique buffet, which I know you don't do, Boma should be something that's on the list too.
Boma should be some on the list. Garden Grill. Garden Grill Breakfast just reopened last week. So there you go.
It's time for me to go back. All right, let's talk about some individual items, right? Let's talk about some individual best of the best. And I know could be a very long and deep rabbit hole, but that's okay. So let's hit it. You mentioned it before, which made me think about this. What is the best, and there's ongoing research still happening, but what is the best burger in Walt Disney World? And this is tough because there's like different types of burgers, like the same way there's different types of table service restaurants.
Yeah, but I think there are fewer great burgers than people think in Disney World right now. Like I've got about 5 coming to mind, and there aren't any others that I really, really like. So like coming to mind right now, the Gibson Sandwich King burger at the Boathouse is phenomenal. When they do that burger right, when the right guy's on the grill, that thing is killer. I love the Steakhouse 71 burger. Yeah. That's a great burger. Deluxe has some good burgers for a counter service place. But there aren't a whole lot more that maybe the Bison burger at Geyser Point, but there aren't a whole lot more that I just, I love.
I think if you want like a simple, good burger, I think the the Stack Burger at Steakhouse 71 is really good. I had it the other day.
So good.
I loved it. Like you do like a simple, like I just need a good burger. I think the Bison Burger is on there. I agree. Mm-hmm. The first thing that came to mind, and I think that I can qualify this as a burger because I just feel like it. It's not really a burger. I'm cheating. I'm lying. I'm cheating.
Okay. It's okay. It's okay. You said we make the rules.
Right. But if you want to sort of stretch the idea of like a meat sandwich that is a burger, I think the filet sliders at Boathouse are just in redonkulous insane. And the secret, come closer. The secret for the sliders is that you get them with grilled onions. It will literally change your life forever. Okay. And it's only like $16. So it's not even like, and it's 2 like nice size, like it's buttery on they just melt, and then you get the fries, or you can upgrade to truffle fries if you want. I need to go to we're done with. I have to stop recording. I need to go to Boathouse right now.
Sorry. We'll see you later.
Hey, call Tom.
Call Tom. Did you ever have the prime rib sliders at Cruise Cup at Yacht Club before COVID?
I did not.
Because how you're talking about those sliders is how I felt about the Cruise Cup sliders. Wow. Because they used the onion rolls from Yachtsman that would come out in your bread, the layered, like flaky layered onion rolls, and they put prime rib on them with onions and like an aioli, and it was, oh my goodness, they were just unbelievable. And I talked about them constantly, and then reopen after COVID, they're gone. You can get prime rib there now, but not the prime rib sliders, and it's just sad.
So AJ, sometimes, like, I'm a simple man, right? Sometimes you just want a good sandwich. What is the best sandwich in Walt Disney World?
Sandwich.
And again, this is a pretty wide spectrum. It doesn't have to be 2 pieces of white bread and, little bologna and mayo. I mean, like, what is the best sandwich? She has thrown herself back into her chair. This
is one that I'm going to get in trouble because I'm going to forget something is what's going to happen right now.
That's the fun.
Yeah, I know. That's the best part. Can I?
Yes. Whatever you want to do, you can do it because
there's just so many in my head. Like, I love a good solid Earl of sandwich. I like a cheeseburger pod. That's kind of a sandwich. Mm-hmm. I like the waffle sandwiches at Sleepy Hollow, like we talked about before. Like this is very difficult because I know I'm forgetting like 5 million incredible sandwiches.
So the first thing that came to mind, and this way, if you wanted to think of anything else, the first thing that came to mind, and I'm going to say something that is potentially controversial.
Okay.
Because it is not only a sandwich, but it is a fried chicken sandwich. And I'm going to continue to plant my flag that the best fried chicken sandwich, Art Smith, I'm sorry, is the funky chicken at Everglazed.
I haven't had it yet. I haven't had it.
Oh my gosh, we're going to go for funky chickens and fries and then get an ube donut and an iced coffee. It's crispy and it has this like crunchy like ranch coleslaw with spicy mayo, and it's got a little bit of sweet and a little bit of heat, and like it's got like these pickles on there, and it's soft bun. You don't think about going to a donut shop for a funky chicken, but
no,
that's like the extra surprise.
Oh, I love it. I love that for you. That's fantastic.
She said for you, like not for me, but for you. That's fine.
No, I'm a big crispy chicken sandwich fan, and I'm so excited that every place is now doing a crispy chicken sandwich because that's just the trend at the moment. And
so where do you go? Where does AJ go for a crispy chicken sandwich in Walt Disney World?
In Walt Disney World, I mean, I would probably do Chicken Guy because I have a devotion to those chicken tenders, which is interesting because I hate Planet Hollywood and it's owned by the same company, and Planet Hollywood can suck it. I hate them, but I do love Chicken Guy.
And Chicken Guy is a great value too. I think Chicken Guy is a really good value too.
It is, and that's how they set it up. They set it up so that people would be able to afford it. And I love that because that's never kind of an impetus. Now, it may be a marketing tactic, but it's working for me. And they haven't raised the price. I was afraid, like when they first opened, I'm like, oh, 5 tenders for $8. That's not going to last long. And it's still 5 tenders for $8. Yeah, exactly. I don't like that I have to pay extra for sauce, but I get it. It's fine.
Well, you get two sauces, and then you have to like buy the extra.
Sauces is never enough.
I know.
2 sauces is never enough.
I'm with you. It's worth it for me.
Have you ever been to Cane's?
No.
Cane's chicken tenders?
Nope. I know not of the words you speak.
It's not in Disney World. It's a chain, and they have some in Florida, but they have the sauce, Cane's sauce, and it's like 250 calories a cup, and I probably eat 7 of them.
It's probably delicious.
I am going to die. But it's so like I am a sauce fan. Okay. I think I'm obviously missing a lot of sandwiches because like someplace else that we haven't talked about yet that we probably should is like Cooks of Dublin. Like they have some good sandwiches there, and they have like the best cheese dipping sauce. Like they have the vintage bacon and cheese dipping sauce, which is like a really, really strong, sharp cheddar with bacon. Oh, it's so good. That has nothing to do with the question you asked me, though. So let's move on.
All right. This next one is very important for a lot of reasons, because it's a go-to food for people. And I think that unfortunately there are some places, and again, I'm biased. My last name ends in a vowel. I come from the Northeast.
Hey, you know what? My last name ends in a vowel too, and I am not Italian at all.
I only know your name is A and J, so that's it. That's the only thing I know you as. So, but it is sometimes very difficult to find good pizza.
Yes.
Right? And you could write, there's some pizzas depending on where you go, but what is the best pizza in Walt Disney World? If somebody says, AJ, you are the keeper of all things Disney food blog, where do I go for the best pizza?
You go to Amare at the Swan Reserve.
What?
And you get the Amare flatbread.
I ate there and I didn't get the flatbread. Really?
The Amare flatbread is exactly like what I used to get in Switzerland, which sounds weird because we're talking about pizza, but they had something called a Flemmenkuche, which was basically like big, thick, juicy bacon, like lardons or however you want to say it, and onions and cream sauce and cheese. And so it's not the pizza you're thinking about, but it will change your life. And that's what that flatbread is like. And I was just like in heaven when I got it. So I do love I love that, and I will stand by it.
Wow. I think the Swan and Dolphin as a whole has some of the best food on property, which is often overlooked because people just don't go there. Now I need to go back to Amari at the reserve. I know a lot of people, and I do too. I think if you want something like quick and custom, I think Blaze is a great option. I think Via Napoli is still the best pizza. It's because they import the water, and it's because they import the flour. Yes. And it matters, and it makes a difference.
It's so expensive, but it's so good.
It's expensive, and you can't just like have Tom bring it to your house because they have a carciofi pizza. It's a white pizza with artichokes and fontina cheese.
Thank you for telling me how to say that.
Oh God!
My whole life I've been saying carciofi. So thank you.
The people at Via Napoli were not happy about that, but that's okay because God knows the things I've mispronounced. But that the artichokes and the truffle oil, it is worth going to Epcot just for that.
And so healthy too.
It's very healthy. It's got vegetables on it, so it's good for you.
Come on, it's like a charcuterie. I do very much enjoy Via Napoli. I think they have some of the best pizza on property for sure. I'm not mad at can't think of the name of it now. Next to the Addison, what is it? The little
Pizza Ponte.
Pizza Ponte. I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at that place.
It would be my second. It would be the second thing on my list because they've got big slices. They have a nice spicy slice there too, if you want to. And they're big, and they've got some other. They have some other stuff on the menu that's pretty good too.
Yeah, some days they have really respectable pepperoni cups.
Ooh.
You know, on their pepperoni pizza. Like I love a good pepperoni cup, like because I lived, you lived in New York for a long time, didn't you?
Jersey.
Did you live in New York?
Yeah, same thing.
Jersey. Oh, no, yeah. And I lived in Staten Island, which is East Jersey. So, but we know good pizza, and that and the pep cups make a big difference because you got to have the pep cups because you got to have the pepperoni grease in the pep cups.
Right. You need something to drip down your arm as you're folding and eating your
as you're
pizza.
folding it. Mm-hmm.
What about the best? And I get this question a lot. I'm sure you do. You get it 1,000 times more than I do. The best steak on property, and this is one that like people they'll go to war for.
Yeah. This is a toughie. Wherever you can give me actual imported Japanese Wagyu is what I will vote for. I think Morimoto has the best on property. It's very expensive. But I've had good Wagyu at Victoria and Albert's. So I do dig that. If I'm just going to go get a ribeye or a tomahawk or something like that, I will probably go to Shula's because I like that it has the shareable sides. Like that's my kind of steakhouse where you're going to bring your steak out, but it's just going to be on its own plate all by itself. And you're going to get a bunch of sides to share with the whole table. But, again, steak is so subjective and it'll be different from meal to meal. It really just depends. It depends on who's on the grill and who knows how to season that thing, how long it needs to be on there. Like it's, to me, I'm a huge steak fan, as you can tell. So it just really depends.
I know I sound like a broken record. I said Boathouse because it's a Gibson steakhouse and they have they have very, very good steaks there. But there was one that I had, and it's been years since I've had it, but it left like an indelible mark on me. And this is, I think a lot of people don't go to the Four Seasons, but if you go to Kappa, they have a strip that has a black garlic puree. It's not going to be the least expensive steak or meal that you have, but it was, and maybe it was the wine pairing too, but I remember it being like a ridiculously delicious steak.
Amazing. You can't beat a good steak. You can't beat it.
So, but can you beat it with the best seafood on property? Where's the best seafood? Now, all right, now we're going to do like lightning round, right? We're going to start doing lightning round, right? The best seafood on property.
I'm not the biggest seafood fan, so I will probably say Narcoossee's, but I will let you own this one because I'm not reliable. I
haven't been to Narcoossee since it reopened, so I have to put a sort of an asterisk on that one. I'm saying Boathouse again because it's the freshest. The raw bar stuff is amazing. If you're looking for sushi, I actually think that the hidden gem of sushi at Walt Disney World is kimonos.
Oh, kimonos for sure.
With like, I'm not a karaoke kind of guy. You go do your thing. I'm going to sit there by the sushi bar, but yeah, the sushi at kimonos is exceptionally good.
Yep, I agree.
The best on property.
I'm surprised since you're such a Katsura Grill fan.
I know, but listen, you go to where the sushi bar is an actual like real sushi bar.
Yeah.
Somebody asked me this the other day, and I'm like, I don't know the answer to this. Where would you go for the best spicy food, right? And over the last few years, I think, and I'll give you time to think. I think over the last few years, I think that Disney has sort of been more adventurous in turning up the spice a little bit, right? Because sometimes people ask for spicy food, and it's very sort of, pedestrian, very sort of middle. You can find a couple of spicy dishes here and there. If somebody wanted like some little heat with their meal, where would they go?
This is tough. I would probably figure out how to go to someplace Mexican, maybe Chinese. Sometimes you can find some decently spicy stuff over at Nine Dragons, which is not as bad as everybody says it is. Over at maybe Spice Road Table, you can find some interesting stuff.
Sanaa. I think Sanaa you can get. That was the first thing that came to my mind was Sanaa.
Sanaa, you're going to have to go non-American. Like you're going to have to find some sort of type of ethnic cuisine, I think.
You mentioned Morimoto. They have a really good spicy miso ramen that has some heat, and you can sort of dial that heat up a little bit more if you want to.
That's
really, really
tip.
good. Nice. All right. Best sweet treat, dessert, anywhere on property. It can be counter service, cart, table service, you name it. It's a broad stroke of the brush, I know.
And just a broad stroke. And I'm not being very lightning lane about this. Lightning round about this. It's our lightning lane.
All right, I'll babble so you can think. How's that? So when I say
Tell me yours first.
So I'm not a sweets guy. And I say that all the time. And then they're like, oh, look, there's Lou eating an entire hummingbird cake all by himself. So I'm not really a sweets guy. But I like the hummingbird cake. I think the ube donut at Everglades is delicious. I don't know what sort of magic Steve puts in the cookies at Gideon's, but that triple chocolate cookie, the dark chocolate crumb cake cookie that you can only get at night is amazing. And Boathouse used to have a blueberry cheesecake that the pastry chefs made fresh air, which was like New York style cheesecake. It was insane. It's off the menu now. Boathouse, please bring it back.
That's what this whole podcast is about, Boathouse. That's why Lou's talking about you at every single question. He just wants that cheesecake back. Hold on, I have to cough. I'm just getting over COVID. The first thing that popped into my head was the cakes at Gideon's. Because I am a fan of more frosting than you could ever eat, and they have that. And I like the cakes better than the cookies. I will get the cakes first. So to me, those are a game changer. But I also I use the trick where I just drive over to East End Market and get them there. It's just so much easier to just do that. and I'll like load up. Like I think I've gotten on the airplane with like 2 big bags full, like ready to rip of cookies and cake and stuff like that. But yeah, I think that's a winner. But I am a sweets eater. I love I love Sprinkles cupcakes, but I can get those here in Dallas, so I don't go there very much in Disney World. Hummingbird cake is exquisite. I absolutely adore that. And I don't mind the shine cake either, even though it doesn't have any frosting. Like, it's still really good. Yeah. And they just brought that back. So yeah, I mean, I'm anything sweet at Disney World.
As long as we're showing love to Art Smith and his homecoming, get the pecan pie, bring it back to your room, and have it with coffee the next morning. You're welcome.
Okay. Got it.
What is the best hidden treasure in Walt Disney World? A food item, something that is overlooked, a place that's overlooked. What is a place or an item that is just overlooked? It's just off the radar, but people should go to at least once.
Probably a place that people don't get to enough is Sanaa or the restaurants over there in the Animal Kingdom Lodge, because the Mara is really good as well. They have, speaking of sweet treats, they have an incredible peanut butter brownie that I absolutely adore. Oh, something else that's really good that nobody ever gets because it doesn't look good. It doesn't look interesting is the turtle brownie at Sunshine Seasons in Epcot. It is phenomenal. And they have 2 ways that they make it. One way isn't good and the other way is really good, and that's what's there right now. Basically, it's like a layer of really moist brownie, and then they have a giant layer, like almost half an inch thick, of super, super rich caramel, and then like chocolate frosting and nuts on top. It's just great.
I'll go super quick because the first thing that came to mind, and I haven't been there in years, but last time I went, I really, really enjoyed the jambalaya and the 42 or 43 pieces of cornbread that I had at Boat Rides at Riverside.
I love that you're talking about Boat Rides. Bless his heart.
And Pepe, which is the little quick service place at Haleo, has great, the bread is so good, like really, really nice. And it's sort of like you can eat there or even sort of grab a little and I'm not going to mispronounce any of the words, so I just won't say them, but like the ham and the cheese, like the Serrano ham on the bread, you can almost like walk around Disney Springs with it, is really, really, really good.
I like it a lot. I don't know that it's reopened yet from COVID.
I was there.
You were there.
A few.
Okay.
I'll use weeks because it could just be an open term. Yeah, I was there X number of weeks ago.
Okay.
Yeah, and there's nobody ever there. Like, I think just people just wander right by it.
Nobody knows it's there. Yeah. And I clearly think it's closed. But Haleo is another one that's a hidden gem. Like, it's really phenomenal. It's way too expensive. And I hate that they want you to pay for individual bottles of soda. Like, that makes me mad because you have to actually buy, those little tiny glass bottles of Diet Coke that I have to pay like $2.50 for each one. That's garbage. No. So I will, don't tell anybody this, Lou, but I have snuck in diet soda from the kiosk outside.
I kind of want to just follow you around. I just want to watch you eat at all of these restaurants because it's fascinating. Like, there's you in the corner of Gasparilla Grill. There's you sneaking soda into Haleo.
It's too expensive because I am a Diet Coke junkie. I'm a Diet Pepsi junkie, but I can't drink Diet Pepsi there. And I have to have it. And so I had to go out to the little popcorn stand and buy like 2 bottles of diet soda, which cost me $10. But if I'd kept buying my soda in Haleo, would have cost me $50. So
do you know one stupid trivia question? Do you know that at one point they used to sell Coke and Pepsi in Walt Disney World at the same time?
I'm sure they did because Pepsi was a sponsor of Disneyland originally, right?
Yeah, and in World.
When did they do this in Disney World?
At the Mile Long Bar, because it was sponsored by Frito.
Where's that?
So Mile Long Bar is connected to Country Bear Jamboree. So when you came out of Country Bear, there was a bar there that had mirrors on each end. So if you looked down the bar, it looked like it was a mile long. And there was the heads of Melvin, Max, and Buff on that side too. And it was sponsored at one point by Frito-Lay. I'm going down to but yeah.
Nope. I love it. This is all good. And I never got to see Frito Kid in Disneyland, which I wish we all had been able to see Frito Kid.
The birthplace of Doritos.
I know, they invented that.
Right? Isn't that amazing?
Magical.
Best drink in Walt Disney World. Cocktail, non-alcoholic, lady's choice.
Lapu Lapu.
Okay.
Because it's a drink and a snack.
And you can get it like everywhere. Like, right? You can get it at Ohana and Kona and Tambu, right? Or can you only get it at Tambu? I think you can get it everywhere there.
You can get it everywhere. Because that's the bar for all those.
I'll throw a non-alcoholic one in there. I like a little LeFou's brew in the middle of summer.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Wait, no, I take that back. The frozen iced tea at Woody's Roundup Rodeo Barbecue Andy's house thing that my son had, and I drank half of it. And the cold brew black calf. It's a cold brew with the cheese and sweet cream cheese and Cocoa Puffs. I mean, anything with Cocoa Puffs is
sure. I literally just bought a box of of Cocoa Krispies at the grocery store this weekend because I can. I
like the fact you're not saying it's for my son, but I had some too. Like, it's just for you. And it's fine.
No, it's for me, and he can't have any. And they're on a high shelf, and they're mine.
AJ has it. They're on a high shelf in her office. She doesn't even have them like in the kitchen. She just keeps them in her office.
I probably should.
Best wine collection, best place to get a glass of wine. I don't know if you're a big wine drinker.
Okay.
Is it Wine Bar George? Is it Tutti Gusto, the wine cellar?
It's probably Wine Bar George because I do love that you can get wines by the ounce so that you can try stuff that you're not sure that you like. I feel like what I love about Wine Bar George is they're really unpretentious about wine. Like, they don't care if you don't know anything about it, and they're not weird and uppity about explaining it, and you can just try a wine, just an ounce, and see if you like it. So,
I love that he's there all the time, like not for special events.
He lives there.
He just sort of hangs out there.
Frigging tent.
I like Tutti Gusto. I think Kappa is another place. It was like one of the top 100 or top 75 like wines in the United, like wine restaurants in the U.S. I'm not a huge wine drinker, but that's what the internet said.
And then you got all those African wines at Chico. Yeah. Like, that is a pretty substantive wine list. Remember when the Wave first opened and they were super proud of their screw top wine list? It was like all screw top wines.
Right. Would you like to smell the bottle cap? It's one of my favorite lines from the Muppet movie. I think we hit a couple of these already. Best romantic dining experience. Did you feel it was? I think do we hit that one?
I don't think we said what we believed about it.
You said it's not V&A.
It's not V&A. I don't know. Probably
you like to eat alone, so it's an unfair question for you.
I do. I have my own romance. No, but I think the best romantic place would probably be a lounge outdoors at night watching the sunset. Like, I feel like restaurants are almost too formal. So I'd rather just get a drink and go out to the beach.
Right, because I think the answer is for a lot of people, it's V&A, it's Monsieur Paul, it's Narcoossee's or California Grill. But I think romance is sort of what you make, and I like that idea too. So it's not just where you're eating, but it's also the views that are really important as well.
Yeah.
We talked about best bang for our buck a little bit. Trails End, I think, for years. Chicken Guy, like everything's under $10 a Chicken Guy, which is amazing. And the boulangerie in France. So tell me, what restaurant does have the best view in all of Walt Disney World? And this is interesting because view does not necessarily mean an outdoor view.
No, right? No, because I always talk about Sanaa and Coral Reef. as having views that will keep your kids interested and invested. And like, I took my 3-year-old to Sanaa, and like, I didn't have to like play a game with him for like at least 4 minutes, which is like a huge deal, you know? So they might keep your kids a little bit interested. I think California Grill has a beautiful view, especially at sunset. Everybody wants to go there for fireworks, but I love it at sunset. I think it's gorgeous. I think the Geyser Point, I think that's a nice view. So, and then of course Topolino's and Toledo. Toledo, actually, you can see, I think, 2 fireworks shows from up there. So
yeah, and I haven't said it.
Dahlia Lounge has that good view.
Yeah, I haven't said it in 7 minutes, so I should say Boathouse too. Boathouse is beautiful. Like,
yeah, just say Boathouse.
Just to say, but I like, again, and the reason why I said it is Space 220 has, the views are interesting, and I love sort of the theming of that restaurant. I'm going to throw in a counter service location, because if you go to Flame Tree Barbecue and go down all the way and sit down by the water, you get a beautiful view of like Everest, and sometimes like the boat with the characters will go by. It's really, really nice. And it's covered down there too. You can sort of get out of the heat a little bit. That's a great
AJ sneaking away to eat alone place as well. I do that a lot.
It's funny. People go down and be like, wait, why is AJ sitting there and Lou's sitting over there? They're just eating alone together. Yeah, that's just the way we like to do things.
That's the way we do it. It's what we like best.
But it shows Disney World is a great place to go alone. Like, there's something to be said for like solo dining. There are great, especially with, I just thought about this one. The best place to go to dine solo, right? Because so many restaurants have like the bar that you can go sit at. And so you don't feel weird about sitting at a big table by yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. I never feel weird about sitting at a big table by myself, but
I need room for all my food. So
that's what exactly like when I check into a restaurant, I'm like, I will get enough food for 3 people. So if you could put me at a 4 top, please, I would appreciate it. It'll make everybody's life easier if you could just put me at a 4 top. Because I order 3 entrees.
It's research.
Usually.
I get it. It's research.
It is. Best place for solo. Beer garden is fun for solo because you're probably, if you are an extrovert, which I am not, obviously, but you will be seated with other people. So you're automatically going to make friends, and there's going to be a show to watch, so there's a lot going on, and it's a buffet. So you can just kind of do your thing and then leave. It's not a situation where you have to wait for a server to come, so beer garden's a really good one for solo.
Yeah, gosh. Because I like so many of them that you can go and just eat at the lounge or eat at the bar and still have access to the full menu. You know what? I think they're all appropriate to dine solo. Like, I know that's a cop-out answer, but I really do. I think that they really are.
I've really eaten all of them solo.
Yeah, I do. I eat solo a lot too, especially like when I travel and stuff. And I think Walt Disney World is a great place to do it, and the servers are great about it as well. All right, last couple of ones. Best character dining experience.
Garden Grill.
I'll just to be different, I'll say Topolino's,
okay.
Especially because I love the costumes that are on. You get Mickey, Minnie, Daisy, and Donald. I thought you were going to say Storybook Dining with Snow White at Artist Point.
No, I'm sorry. I take a hard line on this.
Okay. All right. This is it. This is the big one. The best of the best of the best overall dining experience in Walt Disney World. You define that however you like. You can qualify it. What is the best overall dining experience at Walt Disney World?
The chef's table at Victoria and Albert's. Because I prefer the chef's table to any of the tables in the dining rooms, because the dining rooms are real stuffy. But the chef's table is in the kitchen, and it's just you and whoever you're with and the chefs. And you can make that what you want to make it. It can be, you can just keep to yourself and just do your own thing. Or what I like to do is I love to hang over the railing and talk to the chefs, because a lot of them are very young and they are so excited to be in that kitchen, and they are jazzed and they get to try different stuff and they get to learn so much. And so that to me is watching people just have an incredible time. They're so grateful to be there, and they're willing to talk to you and tell you, like, because I don't, like we talked earlier, we're not big, you and I aren't big chefs ourselves. And so I'm like, what's that? Why are you doing that with that octopus? And what, what's that machine do? And it's just fun to me because I love learning about food and learning how they make food and why is this so expensive, and I'll ask all those questions and they answer me very honestly and like, well, this is better than this because of X, It's just so fun, and it can be made really fun. Plus, you're going to get good food, and you're going to be able to tell them kind of what you like and don't like, so the meal is going to be somewhat customized. So to me, that I've been there 3 times, and every single time it's just been so much fun because you make it fun, So that to me is the best experience.
So I have a definitive answer, and this is going to come as a shock.
Is it the boathouse?
It is not the boathouse. Now,
okay. Is it Katsuura Grill?
The boathouse is the place that I will go 99% of the time, whether it's for brunch, lunch, dinner, for all those reasons. Yeah. And I'm going to ask you a question because I don't know the answer to this when I give you my answer. But the most exceptional dining experiences I've had at Walt, and I've only been there twice, and I don't know if it's gone back to the full menu or if it is still in omakase mode, but I think Takumi Te is a remarkable experience. For a while after COVID, and you might know the answer, it has been omakase, which is basically means like as the chef selects, and I believe it's $150 per person. When I think there's a $250 option, there's a plant-based option, but the chef will prepare and bring out 7 or 9 courses. I don't remember exactly what it was, but between the atmosphere, the service, the food, you were gonna try things in prepared ways that you probably have never had before. Yes, you have to be a little bit of an adventurous eater, but you can also tell them, hey, I don't like this. Please don't include, whatnot. And then they're very, very accommodating. But you forget that you were dining. Forget about dining in Walt Disney World. You forget that you were dining inside of a theme park while you were in there. Some people don't like that there's no windows. I love that there's no windows because you are immersed in this environment that tells a story. There is a level of authenticity to that place that I just think is exceptional. And if you time it right and you make a reservation later in the evening, you're going to be there for a few hours. And there's stuff for kids. I've taken my kids there to eat as well. And when you come out and there's nobody in World Showcase, right? And it's like silent except for the music, and you sort of feel, you want to have a romantic experience, or, going by ourselves, walking out onto that promenade and it's sort of just you after that meal is a really nice way to punctuate a day, a vacation, whatever it is.
I think that's a great point. Yes, absolutely. I find it to be very romantic when I'm by myself in the World Showcase at night after it's closed.
And do you know if they've gone back to, I should have gotten the answer for this, but I know
it's not a la carte at all. This is something I just checked because I'm doing a YouTube video and we had to double check this. So it's still omakase, it's still prefix, it's still, you can't kind of pick and choose. So yeah, I think it's still the same.
It still is incredible and a great introduction to Japanese food if you've never done before. And the last question I have for you is, if you could snap your fingers right now and visit Walt Disney World and only eat one thing, obviously by yourself, what is it going? It will absolutely, without a question, be what?
Monte Cristo.
A Monte Cristo from?
No. Because remember I told you before we started recording when I made a fool of myself.
I was hoping you were going to say chicken nuggets.
Chicken nuggets. Oh, well, now I'm in the mood for a steak because we talked about steak. So I would probably say I would go to Morimoto Asia and I would have their Wagyu.
I can't say that.
That sounds really good. Right
Yeah.
now.
I can't say the coriander seared tuna at Boathouse. And because I'm super hungry right now and I've got this sort of savory, that mac and cheese at Chico the other night was really, really, really good. I loved
There
it.
you go.
I loved it. We covered so much, yet so
But there's
little.
so much we didn't cover. There's
cover.
so many things we didn't talk about.
How are they not talking about the best this? I know that we missed
know.
things.
We're sorry.
Tell us what we missed. We could maybe revisit it another time. We'll have the conversation over in the clubhouse. But if you, our friend who's been sitting here starving, listening along with us, has any questions, you could also email me, come into the clubhouse, and certainly go to DisneyFoodBlog.com. This much I know, AJ, if you are what you eat, then I only want to eat the good stuff. It's from Ratatouille. I love that movie. I know everybody already knows, but tell people where they can find you and why.
Well, can't answer that second one. No, well, we're at DisneyFoodBlog.com. We're at Disney Food Blog on all the social channels. We're at DFB Guide on YouTube. That's where you can find us. And I thank you, Lou, so much for the opportunity to chat with you here and that you finally responded to my text messages. And
well, be careful what you wish for, because now you're not going to be able to get rid of me. Because now I'm like, oh, we have to do this one. We have to talk about. Wait, you know what else we have to do too? I know you like to dine alone, but what if we recorded a live review together somewhere next time you come down?
I don't ever want to listen to people eat. This is a problem. I don't want to listen to you eat, Lou. But here, I think we should probably. Have you ever done the water room at Takumite? Have you ever? Because it's that private dining room.
Because COVID happened and they closed it down.
They closed it. I think we should probably do that.
Oh my God, I would love to.
Let's do that.
I'm all in.
The table's so cool in there.
I know, it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
We should probably.
Yeah, Takumite is sort of based on the elements, and there's a private water room, which I hear is an amazing experience. So we will add that to the many places that we need to eat. And this was, oh my gosh, this was so much fun. I don't want to wait 10 more years. I'm going to come up with another idea. Or
we could be dead.
That's right.
We could be dead in 10 years.
You at home or in the car, you need to email me or go in the clubhouse and say, the next show you need to do with AJ is X, and we will make it happen.
Maybe. In 10 years.
I'm not going to let 10 years go. This was so much.
We won't let it happen.
This was great. Thank you so much for taking time tonight. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. I love talking to you.
It's time for our Walt Disney World Trivia Question of the Week, where I invite you to test your knowledge of Walt Disney World history or see how you pay attention to the details in which you see, hear, taste, or remember. If you think you know the answer, you can enter for a chance to win a Disney prize package. This week's trivia contest is once again brought to you by you. Seriously. Because as part of the WDW Nation, you help bring every episode of the show to life, every live broadcast. The contests and giveaways, they're not only for you, but they're thanks to you. And you can find out how you can help the show for as little as $1 per month and get exclusive rewards every month like scavenger hunts, trivia quests, take part in our monthly group video calls, get access to our private Facebook group, there's shirts, stickers, monthly care packages, early access for special events, and much more. And I sincerely appreciate your love and your support and friendship and help. And I love being able to give back to you each and every month. And of course, don't forget that a portion of your contribution goes to our Dream Team project to benefit the Make-A-Wish Foundation of America. Thanks to you and your generosity and friendship, we've raised more than $550,000 for the Make-A-Wish Foundation of America to help children with life-threatening illnesses and their families come to visit Walt Disney World. You can learn more by visiting dreamteamproject.org. I'd also like to thank some new and longtime members, including Christina Sears, Roseanne Lang, Scott McCarter, Amy, Keely Lamb, Zach Brown, and Marnie Raimondo. None of this happens without you. And if you want to find out how you can help support the show, you can visit wdwradio.com/support. Now, before we get to this week's question, we're going to go back, review last week's, and select our winner. So we've been talking about Disneyland Paris and our love for this incredibly beautiful park. And last week we were talking specifically about Space Mountain in Discoveryland, there's no Tomorrowland, and that it didn't open with the park, but actually opened in 1995. And your question last week was to tell me who sang, what celebrity or what celebrity group sang at the opening of Space Mountain in Disneyland Paris in 1995. Thanks to so many of you entered, got this one correct, or were very creative with your answers, but the answer was Sir Elton John. Now, a number of you also mentioned the Queen of the Night, who is a character in Mozart's opera, The Magic Flute. And although this character and aria is not exactly what I was looking for, I counted those as correct entries anyway. What I was looking for was Sir Elton John, the Rocket Man himself. So now it makes sense why he was there, who gave a performance to 40,000 people to celebrate the opening of Space Mountain, which is now Hyperspace Mountain, set against one of the largest fireworks displays ever seen at Disneyland Paris. Anyway, I took all the correct entries, randomly selected one, and last week we were playing for a WDW Radio mug, a pin, and a prize from Disneyland Paris. And last week's winner, randomly selected, is Ken Strom. So Ken, congratulations. I'll get your prize package out to you right away. If you played last week and didn't win, that's okay, because here's your next chance to enter in this week's Walt Disney World Trivia Challenge. So we're going to go from Disneyland Paris and Discoveryland to Tomorrowland in Walt Disney World, because in the second act of Walt Disney's Carousel of Progress, which I still love, July 4th, which is coming up this week, is being celebrated in the 1920 scene. But some of the family are getting dressed in costume. John and Sarah, the parents, are getting dressed as George and Martha Washington, but who or what is their daughter Sarah dressing as? You have until Sunday, July 2nd at 11:59 p.m. Eastern to go to WDWRadio.com, click on this week's podcast, use the form there. Again, this week you're going to play for a WDW Radio mug, a pin, and you know what? I'm going to throw in another mystery prize in as well. So good luck and have fun. That's going to do it for this week's show. Thank you so much for taking the time to tune in this and every week. Don't forget to be part of the community and conversation over in the WDW Radio Clubhouse on Facebook at www.radio.com/clubhouse. You can connect with me on social. I am at Lou Mongello on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and please be sure to like the WDW Radio page on Facebook at facebook.com/WDW Radio. Turn on notifications there and in the Clubhouse so you don't miss a thing, including our live video broadcast and chat on Facebook every Wednesday night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. On this week's show, we can talk about this episode of the podcast and our favorite food and places to eat in Walt Disney World. I'm also going to debut a new segment and look for your help as well. And of course, I'm also going to announce the winner of our Disneyland Paris Magical Vacation giveaway this Wednesday night. So if you entered on Instagram, you can find out if you win this incredible stay for 4 days, 3 nights in the Disney Hotel New York, The Art of Marvel, 4 tickets for 4 people for 4 days, valid in the 2 Disney parks, food vouchers for breakfast, lunches, and dinners, and many more epic surprises. Again, I'm going to reveal that this Wednesday on WDWRadioLive.com on Facebook. And join us every week, either from out and about in the Disney parks or from the home studio. It's fun. It's a great way to connect with other members of the community. Sometimes there's giveaways and prizes as well. And of course, as much as I love connecting with you online, nothing beats a handshake and a hug. So check out our events page at WDWRadio.com/events. I'm going to announce the next meet of the month in Walt Disney World soon, as well as other events in Walt Disney World and at sea and on the road. Stay tuned. Speaking of other events, visit LouMongello.com to find out about my Momentum Weekend Workshop coming this September in Walt Disney World. Friday, September 29th through Sunday, October 1st, with an optional 10-person mastermind day on Monday. Momentum is a 50-person, 1-room, 3-day event, limited to just 50 people. Momentum is a great opportunity for passionate solopreneurs and entrepreneurs to spark their personal and professional growth, where you're going to discover proven strategies, invaluable insights, as well as make powerful connections that are going to move you forward on your journey to success. You're going to gain the tools, knowledge, and motivation that you need to break through barriers, unleash your true potential, and achieve amazing results. It is a truly transformative experience. And this week, I'm going to be revealing speakers and sessions live on Facebook. To learn more, visit facebook.com/Lou Mongello. I'll have the announcement and event there. And if you're looking for a speaker for your conference, event, business, or school, you can also visit LouMongello.com and find out how I can craft a custom presentation for your business or your event and how to apply lessons from the Disney parks and Walt Disney on customer service, leadership, teamwork, customer experience, and really helping to create your own Disney-like culture and experience in your organization. Make some customer experience magic. Again, you can learn more and reach out to me at LouMongello.com. And if you're looking to come to Walt Disney World, whether for momentum or on vacation, Disney Cruise Line, Disneyland, Aulani, any destination on the planet, go visit our friends over at MouseFanTravel.com. They are my official and recommended travel provider because it's who I've used, who I've trusted to recommend to you for more than 16 years. They are a completely fee-free service. It all comes at no cost to you while they still seek out the best possible prices and all available discounts. Most importantly, with an incredible level of personal service. Again, you can visit them at MouseFanTravel.com. And finally, my friend, and you are my friend, whether we have met yet or not, all I ask is that if you like the show, please help spread the word. Take a second and share a link to this or your favorite episode. If you're listening on your phone, take a screenshot of your podcast player, share it on social, tag me at Lou Mongello. Invite your friends to listen and subscribe, and I'll be sure to follow you back and reshare that as well. And if you can, take just a second to rate and review the show in whatever podcast player you're listening to, whether it's Spotify or Apple Podcasts. And if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, please leave a review. I want to thank some recent reviewers like A. Grenick, who says, "It's all in the details. I love that Lou points viewers to the details in each Disney destination. He doesn't just talk about the must-dos, but he encourages viewers to go deeper and notice things that otherwise you'd pass by. Disney Imagineers thrive in the details department, and so I appreciate Lou always pointing these details out. That's what makes Disney, is the details." Thanks, Lou, for always being positive and a joy to listen to. A. Grenick, thank you very much. And thank you for taking the time to spend and share with me and AJ this week. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope it brought a little bit of Disney magic and maybe a little bit of Disney hunger to you wherever you are. And please always remember to choose the good and find the good in everything and everyone that you meet, because by intentionally and consciously choosing and finding the good, you become this beacon of positivity and hope, and you have the power to make a positive difference in the lives of others. I love you. I appreciate you. Thank you so very much for tuning in this and every week. I hope to see you on the live show on Wednesday night. So until next time, see ya.
Hi, Lou and company. I just finished up the 2 parts of your Disneyland Paris reviews. It was so fun to hear you guys reminisce on your recent trips and help me reminisce on my own. I got to go with my husband back in February for the first time, and it was such a very cool experience. When I was starting both parts, I had 3 things that I was hoping so badly that you guys would talk about, and thankfully they did all come up. The first one being, of course, Phantom Manor, which is one of my favorite attractions across any of the parks in the world. It is so, so cool. Second being the Dragon, of course, which is just so special and makes me so sad that Marion missed it because it is just that cool, and hopefully you guys can get back in July sometime. And the third, which took a surprisingly long time to be discussed, but of course these come up, is the Nutella Mickey beignets. Truly one of my favorite park foods anywhere. I had more in the span of my 3 park days than I'm proud to admit, but hey, you can't get Paris food all the time, so it was so worth enjoying. Those episodes were so fun, you guys. Thank you for putting just so much positivity and fun out into the world and into the Disney community that just isn't always the most positive and kind. We are so thankful for all of these episodes and the community out there. Thanks for what you do. Love you all. Bye. I'm so sorry to leave 2 voicemails back to back, but I forgot to say who I was and all of those good things. So just so it's very clear, this is Gracie from Windermere, Florida. Sorry for leaving that out. Long-time listener, first-time caller. Hope today's going really well. Thanks, guys.
Hello, Lou. This is Carrie McComber calling from Louisville, Kentucky. We were just listening to the resort ideas as a family and wanted to pipe in our idea of a dog-friendly resort. There's so many people who want to bring their dogs on vacations now, and I know some of the resorts are opening up to it, but to have a whole resort that could be Disney dog-themed and have different things around the resort that you can do with your dog, an agility course or dog runs, or and maybe even have different wings for different types of dogs, different sizes of dogs, hardwood floors in the rooms probably, and that they're going, that more and more little canine friends coming along. Anyways, love your show, and hope you have a good day. Bye.